I have watched so many videos that talk about all these different strategies about how you're supposed to be successful in business. I've taken online courses, I've done programs and coaching programs. I have been trying to be successful in this whole realm of online business and online publishing. Lots of different business models that I've tried: affiliate marketing, KDP, coaching, you name it, a lot of different things. Now, the thing that's frustrating is I know now stuff that was literally vital for me to be successful years ago, and that's okay. That's part of the learning journey, but I don't think that this is talked about nearly enough on the internet, especially when it comes to YouTube videos like this, because we're taught that we're supposed to deliver these really quick, punchy, informational videos that are hooking the viewer and that are getting you to be really excited and want to watch the entire video. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be following the techniques or the ideas or the tips that you've been traditionally hearing from other videos that you've been watching, or even professional coaching programs or online courses you may have paid for. Okay, these tips that I'm going to discuss with you, there's two main ones, are literally vital to your success as a business owner, as a human being. Like literally any talent or skill that you are trying to develop, this is an extremely important thing for you to understand. And I just didn't get it for so many years because it's just not talked about. So we're going to have just a really honest chat about the importance of this skill, what this skill is, and the secondary skill that I'm going to mention as well. Now, where did I sort of solidify this concept? I was actually listening to Atomic Habits today. It's the first time that I've read the book, but these are concepts that I've been thinking about and wondering about and that I've had questions over for literally years. And I've been kind of starting to formulate these concepts, but then I was listening to the book and realized, oh, somebody already figured all this out. Amazing. So if you haven't read Atomic Habits, I would highly recommend reading it. I know a lot of people rave about it. I was kind of hesitant at first because there's so many habit books out there, and I've read some of them. I've learned a lot about habit stuff, but the 2 points that I'm going to mention are towards the end of that book and really, really key. Now, the first one, this one surprised me a lot because I've never heard it articulated like this before, ever. And in the book, he talks about how in order for us to be successful at something, there's sort of this big question in the background, like how much do genes matter? How much does skill matter? How much does natural talent matter in order for you to be successful at something? Now, I definitely have experienced this a lot with online business, where there's a lot of different business models that I have tried, or just different skills that I've tried to develop in the online business realm or in publishing. There's so many little teeny tiny skills that you have to develop in order to be successful with online business. With publishing, I talk a lot about Kindle Direct Publishing. If you are doing it all by yourself, which a lot of times in the beginning you have to learn how to get good at book cover design. And that is just one element of the equation. It is really hard to understand your skill level when you first get started, and you may create this book cover that you think is amazing, and nobody's going to click on it. Nobody agrees with you. A couple years down the road, after trying several different book covers, comparing your book covers to other books that are doing well and that are being successful, you learning and developing new skills to improve the quality of that book cover, you're going to look back at that first book cover that you created and published and think, wow, that was actually a really ugly, unattractive, unappealing book cover. And it's okay. That's part of the process. You have to start somewhere. But it does raise the question a lot, do I really have the natural skills or the talents that I need to be successful? And why is it that I'm struggling so much to be successful with this skill or with this thing that I'm trying to accomplish with my online business? Why is it so hard for me? And I see other people that are just being so successful. They're making tons of money. They're publishing lots of books. People are following them. They're having all this success. Now, what I thought was really interesting is in the book Atomic Habits, the author makes the point that yes, there is some level of natural talent that is important, or that can at least naturally affect how well we do with things. And the key, instead of getting down in the dumps for what talents or skills we don't naturally possess. The key is to simply focus on the niches, the categories, the skills, the abilities that we can very naturally get good at very quickly, or that we, skills that we might already have naturally. So, for example, he gives the example of Michael Phelps, who very naturally has a body type of a swimmer. His torso is very long. He's got shorter legs, relatively speaking, and that upper body that's very long gives him a greater ability to pull himself through the water, which is really ideal for swimming. And he talks about how if Michael Phelps were to dedicate that same time and skill and mental capacity to running, that he probably would not do very well and would not likely get into the Olympics as a runner or go as far as he did in his swimming career, simply because his body type is not really designed for that level of competition with running. But that's okay. He found a niche, he found a category, he found this swimming that he is very good at and he does very well. Now, this was extremely eye-opening to me because I have had so many moments, right, where I have tried a certain skill, tried whatever, and just felt so discouraged because it just wasn't resonating with me. I was getting stuck. I wasn't enjoying it. One of the examples for me is Instagram. I have tried Instagram so many times, trying to build a following on there and trying to use it to sell books and trying to use it to sell coaching packages and online courses, whatever. For some reason, whatever it is, I just cannot get into it. It's not something that I enjoy. It's not something that resonates with me. I don't ever spend time on Instagram myself. So for me to go on there and try to connect with people and make these posts that are engaging and get a greater following and then get people to engage on the posts enough that they actually click on it and then they actually purchase something from me is extremely, extremely difficult for me. Now, I always thought that just meant there was something wrong with me. Excuse me, I'm gonna end that real quick. So I always just thought that meant that there was something wrong with me personally, that I just needed to try harder or I had more skills that I needed to develop. Now, sometimes I think that's the case, but what I think is really, really important is you have to be very self-aware of what is resonating with you and is just hard versus what is really just not resonating with you, does not naturally align with your interests, your goals, your natural abilities, your natural inclinations. And I do think that's really important. You may not know the answer to that right away. It may be that you, like me, try a whole bunch of different things. You try a whole bunch of different courses. You try a whole bunch of different skills. You try book cover design. You try publishing. You try affiliate marketing. You try publishing things on Instagram. You try making YouTube videos. You try TikTok. I don't know. There's so many different things, so many different skills that you can develop in the world of online business. There's so many different ways that you can make a passive income or an active income. There's so many different jobs that you can get. Literally, there are like infinite possibilities. So there's just a lot of trial and error. And that's what I've had to do. That's been my journey over the past few years, which is okay. It just happens. That's just the way that it is. But I have learned a lot. I just kind of wish that somewhere towards the beginning of my journey, somebody had told me, you know what, Stephanie, there's going to be all these skills that you're going to have to develop in order to be even a little bit successful at online business. However, you are not required, nor should you even think about trying to develop all of them. And there are going to be some where you start working on them and you just think, you know what, this is just not me. And no matter how hard I push, I am going to be wading through mud the entire way. I'm not going to get good very quickly. There are more valuable skills for me that better fit my skill set and my natural inclinations that I'm going to get better at much quicker. So it makes much more sense for me to invest my time in those skills than it does to invest myself in other skills. So for me, for example, I feel like writing, I come back to it all the time. I walk away from it thinking, oh, I'm not going to make enough money as a writer because it's hard to make money as a writer. And so I get distracted, or I hear about some other online business opportunity and I come over here and I'm trying this online business opportunity and I'm wading through mud and it's difficult. I'm getting stuck. I'm having a hard time developing the skills. It doesn't fit with my natural inclinations. And I keep coming back to writing, finding that it's so much easier for me to get to this flow state and create and write and spend time and be consistent with that. Now, the second part of this equation that I promised you that I was going to give you this secondary skill flows right into this, where James Clear, right? That's the author of Atomic Habits. He mentions that he spoke with some coach, I believe, and was asking him, okay, who are what are the characteristics of the most successful athletes? And the coach said something that surprised him. He said that the most successful athletes are the ones who are able to endure boredom the most. And then he kind of gives this discussion surrounding boredom and enduring boredom. Now, when you are working on a skill that you've never enjoyed in the first place, that really does not resonate with you, it doesn't click with you, it doesn't fit with your personality, dealing with boredom is about 1,000 times harder, to the point that it's painful, to the point that you cannot even motivate yourself to even think about trying. So you end up not being consistent, you end up not being successful. That's happened to me a million times. I'm extremely guilty of that. On the other hand, when there is something that you are naturally very passionate about, for me, for example, is writing. I love writing and I keep coming back to it. It is so much easier for me to sit down and recognize I don't really feel like writing in this exact moment, or it's kind of boring for me to sit here and think about world building. That's not my strength in writing. I don't love it. I really like writing right away. I don't love the world building stage. I don't love outlining. Those things are sort of boring for me. But because I have so much passion and inclination towards writing in general, it's so much easier for me to just tell myself to push through and to deal with the boredom and get to the other side of some of those boring tasks, and to be more consistent with it, and to actually build and publish these books, which I have been able to. I have been able to publish multiple books, including a fictional novel and several self-help books, because I'm able to get through those difficult stages that are more boring. Now for you, you're just going to have to kind of do a self-assessment and think about, what is naturally interesting to me. If you're here on this channel thinking about Kindle Direct Publishing and you're not seeing a lot of sales, I would challenge you to ask yourself, why are you getting into Kindle Direct Publishing? Is it because you're just wanting to make quick money and somebody told you that that's a way to do it? Because if that's it, I'd say probably go look for something else, to be completely honest. However, if you are like me and you love writing, you love organizing materials, you love putting your thoughts into words and organizing it on the page, if you love the process of learning about self-publishing, and right now I'm even looking into traditional publishing as well and learning that whole process, and I can share some of my journey with that with you guys. But for me, I live and breathe and eat it. It's so enjoyable to me. If that's not you, it might be harder for you to stick with some of the skills that you'll need to develop in order to be successful with Kindle Direct Publishing. If you've been told, and I've been told this a lot, that one of the easiest ways to make really quick money right now is to start a coaching business, and you do life coaching, or you do health coaching, or you do hypnotherapy and you become a hypnotherapist. There's all these different types of coaching, right? And you've been told that that's a quick way to make money, but you're trying it and you're finding, I just cannot do sales calls. I can't do it. I just can't. And that's me, guys. I paid for a coaching program to teach me how to do sales calls. And there was like tons and tons and tons of practice and training. And I learned it. I learned the skill. But still, when I would talk with people on real sales calls, I just couldn't do it. It's just not me. I don't like the feeling of telling people things or asking certain questions in a certain pattern in order to sort of manipulate the emotional response that they're going to get by the end of the call, so that they then want to buy. That is a very, very difficult thing for me to do. It does not fit with me naturally. This is much more my style, where we just have an open and honest conversation. And if something fits for you, if it resonates with you, then that's where you need to go. Because I don't think that we should be spending our time, that we should be wasting the limited precious time that we have on this earth with things that really are not for us. And that's okay. Now with sales calls, with coaching, you're trying to get people who may not even be the best fit for your program to pay you several $1,000s so that you can afford to keep running ads, and so you can afford to spend the time giving them that high quality coaching service, which is great and all, but it doesn't always work for everybody. And I've seen that. I've seen so many people pay thousands of dollars for these coaching programs and end up getting very suboptimal results because it just really was not the best match for them. So that's a very difficult business model for me, but some people are genuinely, they're very extroverted. They're very good at connecting with people and doing sales calls or doing the actual coaching one-on-one or in a group setting. That may fall very naturally in line with their natural skills and abilities. And if that's you, that's amazing. We need coaches. We need people who can motivate other people to make healthy changes. That's important. It is. I would just say, you don't have to force yourself to develop skills in an area where it just really does not fit you and your personality. So that's my 2 cents. Any thoughts, additional comments, questions, please feel free to throw a discussion down in the comment section. I'm open to lots of different opinions and ideas. That is literally the purpose of this video, is just to open up a discussion and let's just honestly chat about stuff, because like I said, there are so many videos that have skills lists out the wazoo and to-do lists. You need to do this and then this and then this and then this, and then you're going to make thousands of dollars every single month with this online business idea. And it just doesn't work like that, because there are these other skills that you have to develop. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about these on this channel as well, just uncovering some of these hidden skills that people don't talk about that you really need to be successful. So if you're wanting to learn more about that and just really dig deep into what it is that's keeping you stuck and keeping you from being successful in Kindle Direct Publishing or in affiliate marketing or in coaching or in selling digital products or whatever it is that you're trying to do to earn income online, then go ahead and subscribe so that you can keep following along with these amazing videos. Anyways, thanks for the chat. It was good to talk with you guys today, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.